Hello friends, and welcome to the session on marketing research. In today's session, we will review the scope of marketing research and the steps involved in the marketing research process. We will also try to understand why marketing research is important. In fact, let me deal with that question first. In the times of today, when consumers have so many choices, it becomes imperative for the marketing personnel to connect with the consumer, to understand the consumer. And the tool which helps us in generating these insights is marketing research. The definition of marketing research is the systematic and objective identification, collection, analysis, dissemination, and use of information for the purpose of assisting management in decision-making related to the identification and solution of problems is marketing research. Marketing research, a good marketing research, is characterized by scientific methods, creativity, multiple research methods, accurate model building, and most important, an ethical focus. We say that there are two kinds of marketing research if defined in a very broad manner: the problem identification research and the problem solving research. As the name says, the problem identification research is undertaken to help identify problems that are not apparent and yet exist or most probably are likely to arise in the very near future. In contrast, the problem solving research is undertaken to help solve specific marketing problems. Let me explain this further. So when we are talking about problem identification research, we are looking at things like forecasting research, sales analysis research, image research. How do customers perceive a particular brand to be? On the other hand, when we are talking about problem solving research, we are talking about segmentation research, product research, pricing research, promotion research, and distribution research. As I had mentioned earlier, there are certain steps for a good marketing research process. And they are: the first one, you need to identify the problem correctly. If you do not identify the problem correctly, you will never get the right answer. So you ask a wrong question, you get a wrong answer. What is the problem? Why are you doing market research? Is it to understand the perception of the people about the image of the brand? Is it to understand, should we change our distribution channels? Is it to understand, why is attrition happening in a company? Why are we doing a market research? Once you have identified the problem, you need to develop an approach to the problem. So how are we now going to solve this problem? So the mega problem may be, why is attrition happening in the IT sector? Development of approach to the problem, you further subdivide it to understand, is compensation linked to attrition? Most probably. Is manager and boss relationship linked to attrition? But how do we find all this out? By a good background literature review. Once we are clear with that, we then design our research design formulation. So will I do it in a quantitative manner, or will I do it in a qualitative manner? Would I be conducting focus groups and in-depth interviews, or would I be conducting a survey? How am I going to collect the data? So if I'm doing a survey, what sampling strategies I'm using? If I'm doing a focus group, what sampling strategies I'm using? How am I collecting the data? Once the data is there with you, you need to analyze the data and then finally make a report and present it. This is in very brief. We would be dealing with it one by one in the subsequent sessions. Let me put marketing research in a marketing preview perspective. So as we are all aware, what is marketing? Marketing is understanding the needs of the customer, meeting the needs of the customer profitably. McDonald's, when it came to India, it understood that we as Indians are a different target market. So our segmentation is absolutely different. Vegetarianism is high in India. What our social and cultural factors affect the way we eat or the way we look at food. What did they do? With the help of marketing research, they came up with a product called Mac Aloo Tikki Burger. Maybe we are one of the few countries where we have a Mac Aloo Tikki Burger. But this was possible because marketing research was used to understand the entire market and come up with a solution. At the same time, as I had said in the beginning of this session, you need to be very clear regarding the ethical issues in marketing research. What do I mean by ethical issues? So don't use surveys as a guise for selling or fundraising. Please, let's not waste time conducting unnecessary research. Don't do research for the sake of doing research. Do it because your company, your product, your brand needs it. Use findings and models developed for specific clients or projects only for them. Do not use the models that you have developed for one particular research in another research. Don't mislead the respondents. Let them know why you are asking them these questions. Don't put embarrassing questions or embarrassing stress on the respondents. Using inappropriate sampling procedures and sample size would also result in inaccurate results. Field work. Be very careful with the field work. Make sure that you are collecting authentic data. Interpret the results correctly, because your wrong interpretation will affect the entire project, will affect the entire report. Friends, marketing research is a very powerful tool to understand our customers. Let's value it, let's respect it, and let's use it in an ethical fashion to reach out to our customers and come up with sound, reasonable, scientific solutions. I hope you enjoyed the session. Till next session, take care. Bye.